Here we go. All right, welcome back. This is for June 21st through 27th. This one was a better week than the past 2 weeks. Not exceptional, but 29 items sold. Average selling price was $39.21 for a grand total of $1,137.19. The first up is a orange paperweight. It's a paperweight. It's got 3 little stars on it. There were a few that I did see online. This one ended up selling for $17.99. Next, we have my favorite. It's a brooch. This is a copper cat brooch, 4.5 centimeters, and this one did not make a lot of money, but it sold for $6. Next up is a pair of sunglasses. These are Maui Jims. Maui Jims do sell for good money, but these were women's sunglasses, which do not sell for as good of money. These ones sold for $17. Next up is a music festival lunchbox from the Bonnaroo Music Festival in 2014. Expecting to get more of this because I figured there'd be some people that want to keep some special items in there. But it did not. This one sold for $11.19, and I've had this one for quite some time. Let's see. 2018 is when I got this. Next up is a vintage ratcheting screwdriver. It's an old screwdriver. I've had this since 2016, and this one sold for $17.50. Next up, a 14 karat gold jade pendant. I actually bought this. I think this was only up maybe for 3 days before it sold, and it sold for $50. The next two sold to the same person. They're both very similar items. They're both little brooch pins, and they have these little like ceramic, like maybe porcelain flowers on them. They both sold to the same person for $12.50. Next up, we have a vintage yellow and purple paperweight. This one is not too special, but it is a paperweight. I do buy paperweights almost whenever I find them. I have stopped. I've tapered off. If they don't have a mark on there or signed anymore, I stop buying them because you just don't get the same money. And my Goodwill has recently turned the $1.99 sticker into a $4.99 sticker, so all these things that were worth buying are not worth buying anymore. But in any event, this one sold for $16.80. Next up, these actually I've had. Let me pull these up really quick. So I have had these from actually, this is kind of crazy because I'm just seeing this now. Today is July 15th, 2021. I bought these and put them online July 15th, so exactly 6 years ago today. That's absolutely insane. But these are, it's almost like, I think what they're referred to as like a grilled cheese type deal, a grilled cheese plate and bowl, because it comes with like a little soup bowl and a place on the plate that the bowl just kind of sits in, the little cup sits in. These are 1960s flower hippie pattern. I've had them on there again for 6 years. I know that at one point I saw the price was like down to $80, and I was like, whoa, I don't want to be wrapping all these up. The bubble wrap alone that would go into shipping these is going to be at least like $20 a bubble wrap. I buy from Home Depot bubble wrap, which I know that I should expand out and buy, from Uline or something like that. But right now it just doesn't make sense for me to. I don't even have a place to store all that bubble wrap. But in any event, 6 years. I've had them for put that in perspective, 6 years. Now I know that when I bought these, I bought each piece for $1. So I have $16 in this. It sat for 6 years, and I made 10 times my money, almost. It sold for $150 plus $41 in shipping. All right, next up, we have a vintage jade prayer necklace. This is not silver, sterling silver. It is a silver, like a copper little piece on the end of it. This one sold for $26.60. Next up, this next one, I bought one of them at a store, and there were 2 other ones there, and I ended up going back after this one sold and picking up both those, which have also now sold. But this is a vintage 20-inch pink coral necklace, and it sold for $19. Next up, I have a vintage alpaca silver rosary. Alpaca, again, I've mentioned this before, means nickel silver. It's just an older term. Just means that there is legitimately no silver in it. Actually, it's just a nickel alloy. And this one sold for 20 bucks. Next, it was an Art Deco 1930s duet brooch dress clips. If you don't know what a duet brooch is, go look that up. Duette. They basically pull apart and come together. This one sold almost immediately. I had a guy I work with called me up to buy a bunch of brooches. I ended up going down there, picked them all up. This one, as soon as I put it up, sold 36 bucks. Next, we have a small smash bank. This is a smash bank is like a bank that you cannot open. The only way to get your money out is either shake it repeatedly to try to get the coins to fall out, or to just break it. This one was an amber glass material, making it kind of cool. It was a little dog, and so it's, again, it's a lot of stuff is like hit or miss. We're like monkeys just throwing shit at the wall, and this one just happened to stick. I've had some of the old amber ones, or like the dirty clear ones. It's not frosted, but it's like dirty clear pigs, and I've sold those before. I've even filled them up with coins, like old coins before, and sold those, which is pretty cool. But this one, being empty, and it sold for 55 bucks almost immediately upon going up. Next up, I have a Tommy Bahama sterling silver watch. If this was a man's watch, again, watches, sunglasses, a lot of those things that you're going to buy are going to sell better for the men. Why? I don't know. I don't know if the men just, they don't take as good care of things and things just fall apart. Or it's just that, not a lot of women wear watches. I know not a lot of men wear watches, but I don't know exactly why. I don't know if it's just that women aren't in that same collecting field in that, because it's kind of engineering, it's mechanical. I have no real idea why. But it doesn't sell for as much. This one, being a sterling silver little women's watch, sold for 20 bucks. Next up, I have a lot of silver plate spoons, just miscellaneous items and spoons. I put these into, like, when I buy them, if they're not in a set, I'll put them in a bag, and then when I get a bunch of them, like 86, 100, somewhere around there, I'll just lay them out on the table, take a picture of them, and sell them as, people buy them for crafts, art projects, that kind of thing. And, people make rings and stuff out of them, clean them up. But, again, I buy each one of these individual items for 10 cents a piece at the local Goodwill. I have 86 here, which means I spent $8.60 on these, and it sold for 60 bucks, which is pretty good. I will take it. It's not quite $1 a piece, but it's still good money. Next up is a pair of BCBG sunglasses. These ones sold for $15. Next, this was also mine, but since I no longer have a CD player around here, I do have 2 record players, but no CD players. This one sold for $6.30. This next one was a good sale for this week. This was a vintage, I can't pronounce his name, and I'm going to try. It's a Swedish glass. It's a Volvo. It's a car, little paperweight. And I've seen a few of them sold. I got 2 offers right off the bat upon putting this up for maybe like 80 bucks or something like that. I held off. Someone offered me 175. And I took it. Next up, we have a vintage Robert Lee Morris Studios sterling silver bracelet. This is kind of in the shape of like a bamboo. Every bead was kind of like intermixed between like a circle and this like concaved rectangle, so to speak, making it look just like bamboo. Robert Lee Morris signs his stuff RLM, so keep an eye out for that. RLM 925. That's Robert Lee Morris Studios. He does a lot of like modernist, very like simple, elegant designs. This one sold for $107. Next up, we have a vintage 12 karat gold over sterling silver. This is a little heart locket, and heart locket necklace. Sorry, excuse me. It sold for $24. Again, some of these things are hit or miss. Some necklaces like this will sit around for years, never finding the light of day. This one just happened to catch the right person's eye. Next up is a sterling silver pearl dangle necklace. This one is sterling silver, and it is genuine real pearls, and it only sold for $11.02. Next up, we have a new in the package silver plate Oneida serving knife, like a pie knife. It's in the package still, which is really cool, because instead of only getting $1 for it, I've got $11.50. Again, I buy these for 10 cents a piece, that's good money. Any retail that can turn something into a 10 times their profit is doing very well. All right, what we got here? Only a few more to go. Next up, we have a small jade ring. This one is just it's a normal standard jade ring. I've had a few of these. Some of them will sit forever. Some of them will get good money. I think I've sold one of these before for over $100, but this one, I don't know if it had like little scratches or something on that, that tends to happen with jade, especially if something that's like in such close contact as a ring. It's gonna get bumped on and everything. This one only sold for $12. Next up, another thing I buy all the time whenever I find them, as long as they're decent looking, are big crosses. Religious crosses, crucifixes. This one was a very heavy, solid brass one. It had some silver overlay on it. This one was 15.5 inches long. It was extremely heavy. It was made out of solid brass. This one sold for $178.50. Next up, we have a lumberjack saloon hat. I wish I knew the story. It's very interesting. Why I price it so high, I have no idea. But it did sell for $20. Next up, we have a Lookout Mountain Tennessee lapel pin. Another little lapel pin. Probably purchased this for pennies on the dollar. This one sold for $11.19. Last but not least is a name you should look out for when it comes to necklaces. It's called Liz Palacios, or L-I-Z, so Liz. Then you get the last name, P-A-L-A-C-I-O-S, Palacios, I don't know. But in any event, I found numerous of these over the years, a lot. Most people, they don't really know about the name. So they see a little tag, might as well be Chico's to them. What do they know? They have like little crystals on there. This one, it was blue and green, and it sold for $30. All right, that was the week this week. Next week is even better. Next week's the week when I resold that box that sold previously, and there's that whole fiasco. And I actually sold a piece of my original art, which is pretty cool feeling. But I'll share that with you after I get back from vacation, so in like 2 weeks.